Do you believe that Islam could be the 185-pound champion if he wanted to, let's say, jump from 155 to middleweight at 185?
I 100% feel Islam can do that if that's what he wanted to do. But it's what he wants to do that will happen, not his ability. His ability, come on, I see it in the gym, guys. I see it. So I know how good this guy is. So yeah, 185 is not going to be an issue for him.
Ilia Topuria mocks Islam's retirement news as the perfect excuse to dodge him, claiming the champ knew what was coming.
Your matchup with Makhachev, where do you have the advantage and where does he?
I feel that I have the advantage in everything. This is what I truly believe. Me personally, I would ask him, like, what's your favorite submission? Whatever, dark show, I'm gonna submit you with that.
This is a guy that's trained and coached by Khabib.
I will submit him closer to Khabib. Khabib used to take people, take them down and talk to Dana. Dana. I would do it to Khabib. Like, I will take him, but
and then talk to Khabib.
Talk to Khabib.
What would you tell him?
No, I wouldn't. Like, all the respect, but this is how I feel. I feel that I submit him with the darts. My background comes from wrestling, from the ground game, and I developed my skills, my best skills, on the ground.
We'll have to check that tomorrow.
Do you think that there's a possibility that before it's all said and done, Islam could move up and fight for a third belt if he does get the second belt?
I don't know. I really don't want to anticipate what could happen there because that's a lot of what ifs, you know. Islam is actually 34 too, or gonna be 34, so it isn't like he's really gonna be around much longer, I don't think.
Moreover, Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, recently made a statement that stunned the MMA world. He doesn't believe the reigning pound-for-pound king will be in the octagon much longer. With his fighter approaching 34, Mendez expressed doubt about Makhachev extending his career too far beyond a few more bouts, hinting that the Dagestani star may only have up to 3 fights left before retirement. The news, while unexpected, isn't entirely out of character. Mendez pointed to the mindset common among fighters from Team Khabib, emphasizing how their philosophy is not to drag careers on unnecessarily, especially once financial freedom has been secured. He referenced Khabib Nurmagomedov's early retirement as an example, saying Makhachev shares the same mentality and lifestyle approach.
Do you anticipate we see him around for at least another couple of fights?
I'm anticipating, yes. I'm anticipating we'll see him for hopefully maybe another 3 fights.
Makhachev, who currently holds an incredible record of 27 wins and just a single loss, has already defended the UFC lightweight title 4 times. Now he's decided to vacate that belt in pursuit of becoming a 2-division champion, setting his sights on the welterweight crown held by Della Maddalena. The potential matchup has drawn significant buzz. While some view it as a natural next step in building a legacy, others are now wondering if it could be part of Makhachev's final run.
How do you think Islam does at welterweight?
Who knows? I heard he's not going to be any smaller than Jack come fight night. But 55 to 70, that's a little bit different than 35 to 45. But when your skill level that high as Islam's is, it'll be interesting if he goes in there and tries to shoot on Jack. Jack stuffs him and gets in his face. But Islam's striking is so underrated. Islam could put the hands on Jack too.
Mendez revealed that he's targeting a short but meaningful legacy-defining stretch for Makhachev. Winning the welterweight title, in his eyes, would be the ultimate accomplishment before bowing out. Despite not underestimating Della Maddalena, whom he describes as a tough customer, the goal remains clear: get past JDM and then possibly take on 2 more significant opponents before calling it a career.
Are you excited to get to see him sort of be able to do his thing at 170 finally?
Yeah, it's exciting for him to go for the legacy. He said, I want to come in and I want to do something where I can go after the welterweight title. This is before Bilal Muhammad was champion. Now it's coming through. I'm very happy for him because he's been wanting this opportunity from years back. If he's successful, that's exactly what he's going to get. He's going to put himself on the forefront as one of the greatest of all time, and considered the 1, 2, or 3 in the top 3. I don't know, but he's definitely on line for that.
Interestingly, Makhachev himself responded to the speculation surrounding his retirement. In a short post, he brushed off the idea that his career was nearing its end, saying that becoming a double champion was just the beginning. In a separate interview earlier this year with Demetrius Johnson, Makhachev provided some insight into how he views retirement. He explained that it's not about his age or record, but about how he feels during training. For now, he believes he's improving and still able to outperform younger athletes in the gym, which tells him the time to walk away hasn't come yet.
How much longer do you want to fight?
My opinion, it's not like records, it's not like age. My opinion, it's I go to the gym and I told the all kids want to show something to me.
Yeah.
And when I understand I cannot stop the people, I cannot like compete with the young guys, and I'm thinking about it, that right now it's not time to talk about this, because I know I can do more.
Still, Javier Mendez's comments have drawn concern from some of the sport's most respected voices. UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier, a longtime teammate of Makhachev, reacted to the coach's remarks by describing them as potentially sad for MMA. Cormier pointed out that Makhachev, still in his prime, is not just dominating but getting better with every fight. He said the possibility of losing yet another dominant champion so soon after Khabib feels premature and could leave a hole in the sport at a time when the UFC is struggling to produce household name stars. Cormier emphasized that until Makhachev himself confirms his plans, there's still hope. However, he urged fans to cherish the remaining fights, especially the potential matchups that lie ahead. Besides JDM, Makhachev could still face the likes of Kamaru Usman, Ilia Topuria, or even revisit some unresolved tension with past rivals.
Islam Makhachev might have 3 fights, including Della Maddalena. That right there is where our energy should be spent as Islam fans. How in the world does it feel like another dominant champion may be saying it's about time? Why? He's young. He's the world champ. He's dominating. He's getting an opportunity to become a double champ. Why? I think that we are in a time right now in fighting that for me as a fan is very sad. I don't believe for a second though that it's going to change. But when they all start to walk away, it's sad for the fan. But Islam only has 3 fights. It's scary to me because I know, knowing these guys, the only saving grace right now is that someone else is saying it for him and he has not said that himself. If Islam comes out and tells us, I've got 3 fights left, we should all go, man, we got to lock in. We saw Khabib do it, and he never looked back. That should be worrisome to us as mixed martial arts fans. We have so many more fights that we want these guys to fight. We want to see him against Della. We want to see him against Usman, and we want to see him against Ilia Topuria. It's crazy.
Meanwhile, Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, tried to quiet the growing concerns. He stated firmly that retirement is not on the table yet, and claimed that Makhachev intends to compete for at least 3 more years. While that may sound reassuring, Makhachev's historically light fight schedule leaves questions about how many times fans will actually get to see him in action during that span. Makhachev's move to welterweight comes at an exciting time for the division. Della Maddalena recently pulled off a stunning victory over Belal Muhammad to become the new champion. The win was a huge statement. JDM outlanded Muhammad 200 to 155, displaying slick boxing and sharp combinations throughout. His takedown defense in particular stood out. He stopped 6 of 9 attempts by a seasoned wrestler, which added a new layer to his growing reputation as a complete fighter. That performance set up the inevitable clash between Makhachev and Della Maddalena, which fans are eagerly awaiting.
In the case that Islam does happen to lose, which, you know, everybody is picking him to win, would he stay at welterweight because he's making the move up, or do you imagine he would come back down to lightweight?
Islam been smashing people for the last 10 years. Islam will be the greatest fighter of all the time. He will surpass everybody, you know, and nobody can even question it.
Notably, Makhachev had long resisted the idea of going after the welterweight title while his friend Belal Muhammad held it. But once JDM captured the belt, he wasted no time. He made his intentions clear online with a post declaring it was time to become a double champ. That message didn't just stir excitement, it effectively reshaped the top of the welterweight division. Australia's Alexander Volkanovski, a fellow champion and JDM's countryman, gave his thoughts on the matchup. According to him, Della Maddalena's victory over Muhammad was the perfect lead-in to facing someone like Makhachev. Volkanovski believes the Aussie's confidence is now through the roof, especially in terms of takedown defense. He said that stopping Muhammad's wrestling gave JDM the mental edge he needs heading into camp against Makhachev. Volkanovski predicted that in the gym, JDM will now be far harder to take down, even for elite level grapplers.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Belal was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stopping takedowns. Because again, there's every fighter still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. You know, I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, like, you know, worried about, you know, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, like I guarantee you, if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. You know, only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Bilal. The striking on the feet, I think it's a easier than Bilal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound number one. So it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all these fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
So Volkanovski's obviously fought him before.
Yep.
Will you pick Volk's brain?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely plan. After the last two fights, I've spent a bit of time in Wollongong. So yeah, I think probably the first stop, we go to Wollongong, talk to Volk, see what he reckons.
While JDM's defense has certainly improved, Makhachev's camp isn't overlooking other potential threats in the division. Coach Mendez hinted that a showdown with former welterweight king Kamaru Usman could also be on the horizon. Usman, who recently returned to the win column by defeating Joaquin Buckley, has openly stated his interest in returning to title contention. After that victory, Usman made it known he's targeting the winner of the Della Maddalena versus Makhachev clash.
There's going to be a lot of guys obviously calling you out, talking about you after this fight. I mean, there's the JDM Islam thing, there's Sean Brady, there's Shavkat. I think one of the coolest things also was you said earlier this week, you said, listen, man, there's that blockbuster fight with Islam or even JDM. And then, hey, man, I can still go up to 185. And if Dricus is there or Hamzat's there, that's there as well. You stood on business in there tonight, and I love that.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Islam, JDM, you know, that's the only thing next. To be honest, it's about business. I'm the biggest in the division, and hey, we're looking to do big business here. Brady's already said he kind of not interested in that fight, so it is what it is. We're looking at Islam, JDM, and then we move on.
The Nigerian Nightmare, the boogeyman of the division. Congratulations, brother. Go enjoy your victory.
Mendez acknowledged that Usman is definitely in the mix, but also pointed to other emerging names like Shavkat Rakhmonov, Ian Gary, and Bilal Muhammad as potential matchups. He described the current state of the welterweight division as a hotbed of talent and marquee names, adding that any of those fights would present serious challenges for Makhachev.
How do you see him as a challenge for Islam? Like, we saw that obviously he's looking very healthy, his wrestling is still on point. Do you see him as one of the harder challenges for Islam outside of JDM in that division?
Yeah, he's right in line with JDM, 100%. You know, him and, you know, I think that all those guys are really trouble for everybody. Shavkat himself, Ian Gary, you know, there's so many guys in that division that Islam hasn't fought either. So it's one of those exciting things to be in. But, you know, we need to get by JDM first, you know, that he's not going to be an easy fight as it is. So once we can get by him and we analyze him properly and we get through the big hurdle that he is, you know, then let's see what we can do from there. But we definitely need to get by him first before we can really concentrate on anybody else. But it is an exciting division at the present time with all these new potential marquee fights that can happen.
Kevin Holland, another UFC welterweight, made his prediction loud and clear. After watching Usman's recent performance, Holland confidently posted that Makhachev would smoke both Usman and Buckley. While Holland's opinion adds more fire to the debate, it also reflects the growing anticipation and speculation surrounding Makhachev's ability to dominate at a higher weight class.
Islam defeats JDM. You beat Joaquin Buckley. I can already see you getting uncomfortable there, Kush. Are we going to see a potential matchup with the Nigerian Nightmare and Islam Makhachev?
Obviously, that's a blockbuster fight. Former pound for pound and the current pound for pound champion. Remember what Mike Tyson said, Henry? Friends make friends rich. And that's something we'd have to talk about because Islam, I love those guys. Islam, Habib, I love them all.
Kamaru, would you be open to it?
I don't see why not.
Woo!
Islam and I are mature enough to have a conversation. But listen, like I said,
that fight right there, Kamaru.
We'd have to have a conversation.
Your wrestling's probably better than Islam's. You're bigger. And you throw hands really good.
I don't know if I'm bigger. Listen, Islam will fill out nicely.
The possibility of a future showdown between Makhachev and Ilia Topuria is also being floated, particularly if Topuria wins the upcoming lightweight title fight at UFC 317 against Charles Oliveira. With Makhachev having vacated the lightweight title, many fans hope to see him defend it against Topuria before moving up. That dream fight might still happen, depending on how things unfold in both divisions. If Topuria defeats Oliveira, it sets up a potential grudge match with Makhachev. The two have exchanged words online, and the Russian fighter could very well return to 155 pounds for one final blockbuster matchup. But all that depends on what happens against JDM and whether Makhachev decides to stick around long enough to pursue those stories.
Они хотели, чтобы Ислам поднялся. Они хотели из Топурию чемпиона в 70 килограмм сделать. Это не потому, что Ислам хочет наверх подняться, а потому, что они хотят его чемпионом там видеть. Потому что они думают, что он будет продавать бои.
Слушай, Ислам не отказывается.
Ислам не хочет отказываться, он хочет подраться.
What do you think of Islam not fighting Topuria?
It's a legitimate move. His only option is to move up. How many 145s you gonna keep beating him? He already took that pound for pound spot from my boy Volkanovski. And with that being said, once we beat Kamaru Usman, I can definitely see the UFC making JDM vacate because don't nobody care about his name. Me and Islam, we fight for that belt.
Ilia Topuria has been very vocal about wanting to fight Makhachev, wanting to beat Makhachev. You know, the guy has won so many fights. He's done so well against so many big name guys. So Ilia Topuria wants to fight Islam, but needs to get through Charles Oliveira first. This guy's a world champion. This guy's undefeated. It doesn't seem like Ilia Topuria is giving up on this fight with Islam Makhachev.
While fans wait to see what unfolds, the weight of Makhachev's decisions on the future of the sport looms large. Whether he has 3 fights left, as his coach believes, or 3 years, as his manager claims, there's a growing consensus that every time Makhachev steps into the octagon now could be part of his final chapter. For fans and analysts alike, that makes each moment count even more. In the end, Makhachev is chasing something very few have ever achieved, to leave the sport on top as a 2-division champion and with minimal damage taken. The UFC's lightweight division will crown a new king soon, but for now, the spotlight is on the welterweight division, and Islam Makhachev is right in the middle of it. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.